I call it, there's more to life than making it go faster. And that was a quote from Gandhi when he would always tell people particularly people who were loaded down with stress. I came across an amazing statistic not too long ago that there's 112 million people in the United States, that's 1 out of every 3, who are taking some kind of a medication to relieve them of anxiety or stress or depression or these kinds of things that are basically the result of us trying to push too hard or trying to get too much done or have an inability to just say no when we're confronted with all kinds of people coming at us. I had something happen like that just this morning. Someone called up and wanted me to add a little writing assignment for something that I just simply don't have the time for. And there was a time when I would hem and haw, and then they would, of course, grasp onto that little bit of reservation that I might have, and try to use a little bit of guilt. And before you know it, I would be having another assignment and one more thing on the pile that I would have to do. But I've learned the magic of those 2 little letters combined to make the word no. And the more that this person would talk, I responded by saying, but you didn't understand. I said, no, I'm unable to do that like 5 minutes ago. And finally the person got the message. And I didn't do it nasty. I didn't get myself all upset or get them all upset or whatever. And when I hung up, I was very relieved that I didn't have one more little writing thing that they wanted me to do. It was only going to take an hour of my time and all of that, all of those reasons that they were giving me. So I think one of the things that we have to learn to do in order to slow ourselves down and to remove some of these stress-producing things that we have, and people are taking pills to be able to go to sleep for insomnia. They're taking pills to, every time there's any kind of a little anxious thing that comes up, they're taking them for their deficit disorders, attention deficit disorders, and we've got more labels and things that we're placing on people that didn't even exist a few years ago. And, of course, we're selling medication in large amounts at very, very expensive prices in order for us to just maintain something that we all have naturally within ourselves. I just returned from the mainland. I live on Maui. I'm on Maui now, and I notice a big difference that when I'm here and then when I'm on the mainland. As soon as I got off the plane and got into a car, I noticed that the people on the mainland were doing more honking of their horns, and people were anxious. That people were driving a little bit closer to my car than what I'm normally accustomed to. And I seemed to be getting exasperated kinds of looks at me. And I kept thinking to myself, what is the big hurry? Where is everybody going? Why is everybody trying to get someplace else so quickly? And it's like when you're on the island or when you're in nature and when you're out there, just allowing yourself to live at peace and be in a peaceful state, you find yourself, everything slows down. Your metabolism slows down. You begin to notice things that you didn't see before. A simple cloud formation can be something that you can spend some time at. Looking at a spider web, which is one of my favorite things to do. I still cannot figure out how in the world they can create those perfect creations time after time after time. Or just to examine a simple little thing like a tree. There's so much to learn, and the Tao, written 2,500 years ago, really tells people that God is in nature, not in some being outside of us, but in nature. Find yourself a place or a time or an experience every single day, if you can, where you're just in tune with nature and slowing yourself down just a little bit and learning and practicing to say no. I don't have the inclination to take on something else. Just getting yourself into that more slowed down, easier, more peaceful state that you were conceived in and that you have deep within you. There's a place deep within each and every one of us, and that place of peace, that place of joy, place of calmness, of kindness, that is stress-free, is something that we can retreat to and go within at any time in our lives. And we fill ourselves with all of these ideas that if I'm not busy and if I'm not doing something and if I'm not taking on more chores, then somehow I'm incomplete. And I think one of the great lessons that I try to write about in that second chapter of Being in Balance is that I'm quoting from Nisargadatta Maharaj, a great teacher of mine in India. And he said, you don't have to do anything. You just have to be. And it's very interesting. The more you allow yourself to just be and to be at peace and to be more of an observer and to be aligned with and tuned into nature and your natural rhythms and stop all of that internal kind of, I've got to do this, if I don't get it done, if I don't get it done on time, then if you get rid of all of that kind of thing, the inclination to have to take a a pill to lower your blood pressure, and another pill to tranquilize you and get you down, and another pill to help you to go to sleep, another pill to keep you from having more attention deficit disorders or to slow yourself down. This, to me, is all interfering with our natural rhythms, the natural rhythm of joy and peace and slowing ourselves down. And I find when I'm on the island, when I'm here on the island, when I'm in the water, and when I'm doing yoga, and when I'm walking, and the irony of all of ironies is that the more I stay at peace and in those joyful, calm states, literally, the more I get done. It's easier to do things when you don't have any pressure on yourself in order to complete them, when you just allow yourself to be in that natural state rather than trying to push yourself.